Just this last week, our favorite marine biologist turned game dev turned chicken parent officially announced on Twitter his new game studio, Fantastic Pixel Castle, and their plans to create their own take on a modernized fantasy MMORPG codenamed Ghost. And if you were to scroll through the comments on this announcement post, it would seem that info on this project may be incredibly limited, and well, it is. We can use our intensive detective skills, or I guess more accurately, the ability to read their website, and learn quite a bit about the project and what the fantastic people over at FPC have in plans for us regarding what is really shaping up to be yet another promising title coming out in what feels like a modern day MMORPG renaissance. In this video, we are going to go over everything we know from their team, their previous work, some of their planned major gameplay systems, and so much more. So buckle in, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and let's get right into it. Greg Street has really been teasing the announcement of this studio for many months, even as early as April of this year, frequently posting about his intentions to be a fully remote studio that planned to move fast and go big. And then finally, on November 2nd, they officially announced the title of their studio, a website, and their plans to make an
epic new MMO.
And while their website may seem a bit simplistic on the surface, it is littered with fun little bits of information about the studio and their future epic new MMO title. First, we got to see what the studio's core values were, and they seem to be based around partnering with players, building a collaborative and accepting team environment, and most importantly, having fun along the way. The team at Fantastic Pixel Castle is built around some of the industry's most veteran MMO and gaming developers, many of which are coming from Blizzard and Riot Games, having worked on World of Warcraft, and some even having worked on the highly anticipated Riot Games MMORPG as well. This obviously including Ghostcrawler. One of the most important aspects for really any MMORPG or RPG for that matter is the living and breathing world it is placed in. Something that the team at FPC will be working on from the ground up. The world of Ghost is an expansive sky with what seems to be endless shards of broken worlds, containing a vast array of biomes and environments for the player to explore. You, being one of those players, are one of the survivors of an apocalypse lost to memory, and the rebuilding of the world now lies upon your shoulders. In Ghost, you will travel to world shards to power up your characters, bring back resources, and build your fledgling civilization by growing and supporting the city's diverse and ever-changing factions. In turn, you'll see the city grow and evolve over time based on the choices and actions of players just like you, as an epic story unfolds season over season. Just this last paragraph implies a lot of things about the game that I think we can kind of speculate on. The first of which being that the game seems like it's going to be a hub-based MMO. On top of that, it also seems to imply pretty obviously that it will feature seasonal content, something that I think would be really good to see more frequently in MMOs to give them an ever-changing world and environment for the player base. While the game may seem fantastical and kind of part of the studio's name, they do have plans to avoid some of the more common tropes found within RPG gaming. One really good example of this is that they don't have any plans to have orcs or elves in the world of Ghost. The world of Ghost is designed first and foremost to cater to its gameplay, one of which being its shard system. The shard system found in Ghost consists of red and blue shards, the blue shards being more private realms for you and your friends to explore, and the red shards being a more public, traditional MMO experience. Their current plans are for blue shards to play a little bit like a survival game, where you and your friends can gather resources, construct bases, and adventure out into the wilderness. You'll never see the same blue shard twice, phrasing which makes me think that we may see some procedural generation in these blue shards, and probably a heavy level of instancing. On the other side, we have these red shards, which are handcrafted by some of the world's most talented world artists and encounter designers. The red shards, while challenging, will contain tough world bosses and endgame raiding instances. For any of you that have been following me for some time now, you know I am a huge fan of survival games, and I think they really create an imaginative and immersive world that I would like to see more of within MMOs. So when I see the team working on Ghost, bridging the gap between MMO and survival games together, it really seems to be something that's going to promote a social and interactive form of gameplay, and something I'm going to keep my eyes on very closely. So all of this sounds good. When do we get to play this game? Currently, their initial efforts are focused on PC development. They do hope to release onto consoles as well, but right now PC is their main focus. As far as when we'll begin playing or even testing the title, they did say that their plans are to move quickly through development and want to get a working demo into the players' hands as fast as possible. Something that may seem a little untypical for your usual AAA studio. And that brings us into our rapid fire speculation section. Will the game feature gacha or pay-to-win elements? On their website, the team states to not worry about excessive gacha mechanics, endless loot boxes, or pay-to-win or the like. We want you to feel good about investing your time and money into this experience. How about tanking and the Holy Trinity? During the Fantastic Pixel Castle's first livestream AMA, Swolinka had this to say.
There are certainly going to be tanks in our game, but I think we want to look at and revisit what tanks mean to the group in terms of gameplay.
What are the team's plans for add-ons and how do they want them to affect gameplay? Currently, the team's take on add-ons is they don't really want them to affect combat in any way, but they are kind of weighing what the potential different options are regarding add-ons for, say, out of combat or UI management. Will the game be action combat, tab target, or some hybrid in between? Currently, and while the answer may be short, they did say they want something more hybrid, something similar to Guild Wars 2 was used as an example. Will the game be third person or isometric? This one's easy. They have confirmed and said that it will be third person. Will the game feature randomized content or heavily curated content? While these are far from the only two options, they did say that the red shards will be heavily curated by some of the world's best world designers and gameplay designers, while the blue shards may have some level of randomization but will be set deeply within some specified parameters. How many classes can we expect to find within Ghost? So this one's kind of crazy and blew me away when they answered this during the AMA, but they said 20 to 50 classes. I don't know about you, but that's more classes than any MMO I've ever played. And they've said that there will be classes that we have expected and seen in other fantasy games, but also we're gonna see some weird ones that you would never expect, like potentially a rat catcher class. How about alts? Will alts be handled in a way like World of Warcraft where you make completely new characters? Or will we see something like Final Fantasy XIV where all of the different classes are linked to the same character? Currently, right now, their plan is to have the character be linked to the class. So something similar like World of Warcraft. But there is a major caveat there that they want to reinvent the way alts are played. What this specifically means, I'm not 100% sure. What I would like to see, and hey team, if you're listening, here's my idea. When you hit the logout screen in Black Desert Online or Lost Ark, you're shown a list of all of your characters on your account. And when you choose one of those characters, you can log into that character wherever they were in the world. But what if, when you clicked on that, it logged that character in to where you left off in the world on your other character? This would allow a seamless transition while doing, say, a raid with your guild and you want to swap from playing the tank to playing a DPS. You could just choose your other character and load in right where you left off. I think it would be really interesting to at the very least, take a look at it and see how that may play out in a MMO environment. What kind of races will we see in the Ghost MMO? Right now, all we can say for certain is that we're not going to see elves and we're not going to see orcs. We may see some versions of these or some kind of fantasy adjacent versions of them, but we're not going to see specifically elves and specifically orcs, or at least the tropes that come along with them. That said, one of the benefits of having a new IP is that could really make up whatever they want and fit them within the game world seamlessly. Either way, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Lastly, will the game of Ghost feature fishing? Now, I know this is probably the most important question to all of you, and it was something I asked on their Twitter, and I swear I'm not bitter or anything, but it was one of the most upvoted answers or one of the most upvoted questions, and they didn't answer it during the AMA. I mean, guys, come on, like, what's going on? I'm not bitter. Yeah, what? I'll forgive you guys. I'll forgive you. Anyways, that wraps up our first everything we know about Ghost video. I look forward to making more about these. I'm really excited to see what the team has in store for us. And honestly, I was a little bit on the fence because, you know, I don't have a great history with new MMOs, but I think watching their live stream really kind of solidified where the team's coming from and shows that I think they can really put together an interesting product. So we'll see over the next few years, and maybe we'll even get to play test it soon. Either way, if you're interested in that kind of thing, you made it this far and you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video. Let me know what kind of class you think you could come up with. Are you going to play a rat catcher? Down in the comments below. My name is Spun, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.